Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to a fresh breath of Nick and John, episode
Four,
5-4.
four,
We're getting there, slowly
four,
but surely. My name
three.
is my name is Nick,
My name is John.
and we're here to talk about the election, and it's currently happening right now. It's underway,
Mm,
and other things, going on in the world.
just vibing. We're just
Shooting
vibing.
some shit. Shooting some shit.
Shit being shot.
We dive into this. What do you want to talk about? Who'd you vote for?
I voted in my mind.
I know we wanted to talk about the election today.
Mm,
But like knowing that neither of us voted, people might hate us for that.
that's true, but it's all gas on the fire, bro. All gas on the fire. That's what we're looking for. A spicy topic.
So it's currently 11:41 Hawaiian time
It is.
on November 4th, 2020.
Everyone, put it in. Put it in your calendars.
I'm gonna check to see who's winning the election right now. The 2020 general.
Well, when I was in the gym, they had it on the TV, and I think Biden was ahead.
As of right now, it looks like Biden's. But I was told by like every news source out there that they were like, no matter what you see for the first couple days, don't don't worry, just ignore those fucking results
Yeah.
because they're bullshit until like a month later, which am skeptical about.
I mean, I feel like for the most part, like they're gonna know.
Yeah,
Like,
but like a certainty thing, you mean?
yeah, but she's also like, I mean, I've heard Trump say that he's gonna like demand a recall unless he wins, like multiple times. So I don't even know. He's also said he can do anything. So
Hala told me that in Seattle they're like aggressively, dangerously liberal.
mm,
And I guess there's like a lot of groups ready to jump to action. Worst case scenario.
I just like, isn't that part of the Constitution though? Like that's one of the amendments that if you don't like who's in charge, you get to overthrow the government.
I mean, I it sounds silly when you say it out loud, but if you think about it,
Yeah.
a couple hundred years back, if you didn't like who was in charge or you wanted something, you just showed up with a sword
A sword
and
and a gun.
you kind of took it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess that's technically how it used to roll out. I don't know what the Constitution says. I've
I'm
never read it myself.
pretty sure there's an amendment or something that says that like if well, I don't think it says like you can just because you don't like them. I think it
Hmm.
specifically says if it's like a tyrannical government or like a
Mm,
tyrannical leader. So I mean, for them to like somehow justify that, I mean, trust me, they'd find a way to. But
the Declaration of Independence says we have the right to overthrow government. The Declaration of Independence says that we not only have the right to, but we also have the duty to alter or abolish any government that does not secure our unalienable rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
true.
And that is from libertylearn.org.
Oh, that's a good website.
.orgs are usually solid, but
I mean, is it not like a fact that I mean most of the millennial generation can overthrow the government just because we're all so depressed?
we could try.
Because I mean, it is infringing on my pursuit of happiness.
Write a letter to Congress, bro.
I will tell them I got the big sad.
I know both of my home states are notoriously blue.
Mm. Yeah, New
Um,
York is like one of the only ones.
so I'm pretty sure that in both locations I would have voted. Biden has
The state,
taken
yeah.
the state.
Mm. See another thing. So like they were talking a lot about, and I saw already like articles about like voting fraud,
Uh huh. Uh huh.
and like I understand part of it, but I feel like some of it is just like fear mongering
Right.
about like how we're not going to be able to come to a final decision on the vote. But like at that point, the only like real fraud is like people messing up,
Right.
because there's always human error involved in that and counting, and they're
I
counting thousands of votes.
I literally watched a TikTok today of like someone. So it was a clip of some reporter like reporting on something, and he was standing at one of the polling stations,
Yeah.
and behind him there was just a bunch of like people counting ballots or whatever they do with the paperwork, just like looking so bored. They were like throwing papers, like yeah. So I would imagine there will be some discrepancy in the answers.
Well, that too, and like, I mean, pretty sure like what in years past there hasn't been like really like humans counting these votes unless it went to like a recount.
Uh-huh.
But you also have like in part of that, like, fraud, quote unquote fraud. I think a part of that, I mean, I've seen like people joking about it, but like
Hmm.
the people that are counting the ballots could literally just count it for whatever they want, and it doesn't matter what the person who's writing it down
That's
says.
what I was thinking. Like, is that how it works? Like, is it all by hand? Is it computers? They're machines? Like, you
Well, I
know
know.
how when we took tests in like eighth grade, you had to fill out the bubble sheet and that's
Yeah,
got read by a machine? Is it that type of thing?
because like I don't know what the mail-in ballot looks like, but I'm assuming it's just like probably the same thing.
Mm.
But
See, my issue is like, I've just not been forced. Like, I've not been educated well enough
mm,
for when I vote. Like, I've not been educated well enough to make a decision.
mm,
So, like, when it comes down to me voting, it's like, well, I know this one guy makes my minorities friends and my like, you know, LGBTQ friends life's harder, so
yeah,
that's who I should vote against. Because like as a straight white guy, I haven't I don't know who to vote for.
yeah,
I don't truly know how Trump has affected my life in the past 4 years.
yeah,
Because no one has forced me to learn those things, and I can't tell a difference from him versus when Obama was in office, except for how happy my not white friends are or not straight friends.
yeah. I mean, part of that has just been with time, but I feel like the changes that like they say they're gonna enact, like all the things we heard in 2016, a majority of it, you know, more than not, was not accomplished at all,
Mm,
if not gone back on. But
right.
like, I don't understand how like, first of all, in 4 years, I don't think it's possible to just overthrow things that have been, like in law for years.
Isn't that wild?
But like, even if that did start happening, that would cause more of like a change in the country than just a new president.
Yeah.
Like if they somehow went back and like reversed the decision on like gay marriage or something, San Francisco, first of all, it would be burned down within like 20 minutes.
Right.
Like I don't think like out of like anything, or like if they ever even tried to go back on like civil rights or something, like the fucking country would explode. There's no way. There's no way to go back on that.
Right. Well, we think. We hope.
We hope.
We hope. Yeah. Uh, the way things are going, who knows?
Anything
Apparently
is
they're
possible.
they're trying to get rid of abortions now. Who's to say what could happen?
I don't know. See, I was not. I feel like we talked about this, but it's just like I hate how religious it is, and how it just
Yeah,
shouldn't. It shouldn't
it's
be in government.
it's super not supposed to be religious, but it
Yeah.
clearly is because like why
Why
else do
else?
you want abortions, you know?
Yeah.
They're
I
good for
mean,
everybody except for Jesus apparently.
well, like the whole thing, like I totally get the cutoff date. That's fine.
Cutoff
You
day for
don't
what?
like.
Oh, you mean as
Oh,
far as abortions?
yeah, like the cutoff, like so
Oh,
you
well,
can't have an abortion after a certain amount of time.
well, it's
That's
like
fine.
scraping a couple of cells versus scraping like
A whole
almost
bit.
a baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which that's totally fine. But other than that, like it's none of anyone's business what they do.
I don't. It's the whole voting thing. I truly don't get because as someone who's again uneducated in the entire realm of politics,
Yeah.
like I've asked multiple people. Okay, we all vote. for who we want, but
Mm,
regardless of who gets the most votes, it falls on this other body of people that decide. But like, are they doing it digitally? Are they doing it like how's that being monitored? Is it actual people voting?
mm,
Like so New York is historically blue, yes?
yeah.
So everybody votes blue. But
Yep.
say the dude in charge of submitting those results wants to go red. Like I guess I don't know. Does anyone know enough about the process to say he has to vote red?
I mean,
Who's enforcing that
I mean,
or
I
blue? You know what I'm
certainly
saying?
don't. And like through all there's probably research we could do, but like I feel like historically, just no one has ever either understood or has like explained the electoral college properly
Yeah, I've
to
never
us.
learned it.
So like, I mean, you've heard about it in school and everything, and you just kind of like accepted it, but like,
I guess
I don't
I
know.
don't get like I guess I don't get the need for it. I mean, there's 300 something million people in the country.
Yeah,
Why can't I mean, how hard is it to count the votes? And I understand it's so that like certain areas aren't like outrepresented. But I mean, like,
yeah,
if you're racist in New York or you're racist in Texas, you're gonna vote. You're gonna vote the way you vote.
yeah.
So I guess it shouldn't really matter.
Get
You
what
know,
they're.
does that unless I'm missing some huge part of it? I have the distinctest clue.
I mean, I know like how they split up the total number of delegates is like population density with that, which is why like the Midwest states usually don't have as many electoral college votes as far as that goes. But like I said, it doesn't. I don't understand it, and maybe I'm gonna make a 4-year promise that I'll vote next time.
I mean, hopefully I'll know enough
Yeah,
to make an informed decision because again, like I said, when I go vote now, I'm not voting on any basis of like knowledge or opinion. It's really just
yeah,
I know like people that I care about are having a
hmm,
much harder time and
yeah,
there's certain groups that are being treated much worse. So that shouldn't happen. Like
yeah.
that's the only knowledge I have, but I don't know if the decision's better for me or
Well, I
what
mean, I
have
feel
you.
like at the very basis of it, it's just a stupid thing to have to deal with in the first place. Like,
What, voting?
no, 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 like having to choose between two different people with like two different ideals that are like so different, and each one is infringing on someone's like right to be a person.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it,
I guess.
like that, just that's a flawed system in itself. Like,
Well, you
shouldn't be
mean
like
both
that.
parties or
So like both parties have things that they don't like about each other, and there's
right?
certain races and genders
Well,
and stuff that are
well
usually infringed on.
to re- so again, from an uneducated standpoint,
Mm,
there's the one side
mm,
that makes lives harder for black, brown, and gay people.
yeah.
Just regular people.
Hmm.
But then there's the other side who just makes a couple of rich people pay more money.
Which one? Yeah, one does seem like the lesser of two evils.
I mean, somebody please inform me how other people would be hurt on that second option, but I have no clue.
Which I mean, it's a much deeper issue than that. But I mean, on the very surface, that's what it is. Like, one does seem a little bit better than the other.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
mean, also, if taxes go up, we all pay taxes. But if we have to get rid of Muslims, you know, it's really just kind of screwing one group for no fair reason.
Well, I know like they want to raise taxes, but it's not on me. It's not on you. It's people
Right.
that make a shit ton of money.
Those goddamn TikTokers.
I know. It's all like the TikTokers, TikTokers, YouTubers. All these people.
We'll get there one day.
One
I want to
day,
be I want to be famous and rich enough one day that I have to worry about my taxes.
I think that was. I said that recently. My goal was if this ever happened again, I don't want to receive a stimulus check.
Yep. Yeah.
That's where I want to
Um
financially be in life. There's like gun rights and gun control. Um,
I'm I mean, I get it. I just like these things really have to be laws, people. Like that's my thing. Like I'm
they
not for
shouldn't.
or against gun control, but like, does it really have to be a law?
It shouldn't. It shouldn't have to be a law to be a dick, dude.
Have guns, never use them. What's the issue? There, I
Never
just
use them
solved the
on
gun
each
crisis.
other.
Yeah, I mean, for
We got to think like, where is it? Australia or New Zealand, where they haven't had they had like what the one mass shooting in like the 1990s or something.
I'm not sure.
Late 1990s, like early 2000s, they had like a mass shooting, and then they just banned guns after that. And it's been it hasn't been perfect, but it's been
Yeah.
pretty nice.
I mean, I I get the rational side of things, like
Yeah.
um hunting, which is not the best option because
Mm.
you don't need an AK to shoot a deer. I get that.
Yeah.
But I've been to a gun range and that shit's like it's so fucking fun.
Yeah.
It's I get it. It's useless. It's like being that dick on your in your neighborhood who has that really loud, obnoxious motorcycle. Like it will
Hmm.
never do him any good, but it's fucking fun. I get
Yeah.
it, but also you shouldn't run people over with the motorcycle.
True. 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 I think the main problem with like, I guess specifically, I mean the Constitution in general, is that you have like people interpreting archaic laws that are no longer like relevant. So
Mhm.
like people bring up the Second Amendment with that and their gun control, but that was also written in the 1700s when it
Right.
was way more relevant.
When people were walking up on your house and trying to take your land,
Yeah, like that was a thing that they had to deal with, but like
and it took guns about 5 minutes to reload after one shot.
exactly, you couldn't shoot 40 people in like 2 seconds.
So I don't know. I don't really get like the whole countries hating countries thing either. Seems just
Well,
bad
that's
for business.
you don't think who's it? George Washington said we should have been an isolationist country.
I mean, then we wouldn't have all the immigrants who came and built every important thing we have.
Well, it's the same thing that what Japan was doing.
When today, like now?
No, 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 not now, but like you know, back in the day.
I mean, many countries used to do that, but hundreds of years ago. And
Well,
then,
I don't think it's like a viable like long term option.
well, yeah, I mean, that's a very basic principle of economics is
Yeah.
being able to trade. So, like, I mean, in a very, very basic way of stating it is I can make, with the resources I have, I
Yeah.
can make shoes and I can make hammers.
Mhm.
But, like, if you make shoes better than I make shoes and I make hammers really well,
Yeah.
it's better for both of us just to make our own thing and then we trade and then it's just better.
Yeah. Well, it's better for everyone in that case. Yeah.
Why do other countries want to change our election?
Well, they don't care. You know who we really need to worry about? Britain, bro. They haven't
Okay.
finalized Brexit, and they've got like a month, and
Hmm.
then in like a month, Brexit is finalized, and they haven't come to an agreement with any other country or figured out anything to do with their country. So they're just like getting dropped off at daycare without anything.
What does that have to do with our election?
No, you're talking about like people worried about our election.
Yeah.
They should be worried about theirs.
But I mean, I'm not worried about theirs because we have ours.
Well, I mean, not specifically. I know me and you like to travel. It's going to be real hard if they're not part of the EU.
That's true. That's true.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know. But I mean, just like as far as the Russia thing, like why do they
Mm.
want to mess with our election again? What's the purpose?
Well, I mean, there's always going to be back channels, you know, secret societies running the government. But like, I don't think that. First of all, if they were doing that, we would have no idea.
Right.
And whoever was in charge of both parties would be okay with what's happening. There wouldn't be any
Yeah.
injustice because they would have ulterior motives, anyways.
So, like, they all, with the whole Russia messing with the 2016 election, right?
Yeah.
Their goal was to get Trump in office so he could fuck shit up, right?
Well, that too, because I've seen people talk about it too, and they claim that Trump was like, innocent. He didn't do anything to do with Russia. And
Hmm.
what happened was that the people that he brought into office, like with him and hired, like, so he didn't deal with any foreign countries or do anything like shady, but the people he brought in with him were the ones that did it.
Right. But okay. So Russia influences stuff to make stuff happen.
Yes.
Shit goes awry in America because Trump runs free for 4 years.
Yeah.
But like, what's the end goal? Like, why do we care? Are they trying to take us over? Like, are they trying to make us the next Russia? You know what I'm saying? Because like that's not how things work. Like the internet exists now. We're not just gonna be
Yeah.
Russia tomorrow.
No, it's not.
Um, so like it seems like a whole lot of time wasted. And we all spent the first 3 years trying to prove that collusion and Russia and
Yeah.
this and that. I don't know. I don't watch the news, but
Spend
like,
years.
who cares?
Nobody. It really
Nobody
like
cares.
it doesn't. It's not that big of an issue, and whatever is, could be at play. Like I
Uh-huh.
said, we have no idea what it is.
Mm.
Why would us little sheepy boys know what's going on with the government?
I'm just here making a podcast with my buddy. I don't care what country I live in.
I don't care. You can be in Venezuela, bro.
I don't care at all. Yeah. We are uninformed voters. The dumbest type of all American.
The free college and like student loan forgiveness.
Mm. I'm down for free college going forward, but like the student loan forgiveness thing, like you took money from private institutions. Like
Which
if you're
that
gonna
makes sense.
stop making people pay their student loans, don't make
Yeah.
me pay my car loan either.
Yeah.
But I mean, if the
Yeah.
government wants to say, okay, we don't need that money anymore, that's dope. But like, don't fuck over banks.
Yeah, because I honestly don't think a lot of people understand that. Like when they say like,
I probably don't understand it. I don't know.
well, no, like the free college going forward would make sense because that would put colleges under like a state or federal like
And if I've
thing.
learned anything, college doesn't do shit for anybody anyways. I'm just as worse off as I was before college. I'm in no better of a situation.
I mean, the student loans part, you know, I couldn't fucking care less because I don't have any student loans, but
I mean, I wonder. This is
but,
definitely an ignorant question to
but no,
ask.
no, no, like what you said. So like it would be different if like you were borrowing money from the government.
Which many people did. Like some of my loans were from the government.
But like if you're borrowing money from a private institution, there's no way that those can be like forgiven unless the government's going to give the banks money.
Subsidize those loans for those institutions because then
Yeah.
you're just fucking with private businesses, and that
Yeah.
doesn't seem right.
Yeah. And they've already spent enough money to bail them out a couple times. So
And that's a whole other thing, though. I just like if you really made college free for everybody. This is an ignorant question because I went to college,
mhm.
but like the people who claim they didn't go to college just because they couldn't get a loan of any kind or they couldn't go to college, like if college is now free for everybody, would it really get more like how many more people would go to college? Like John,
Well,
you didn't go to college, but
mhm.
like that was mostly a choice.
Yeah, if college was free, I still wouldn't have gone. Like
Right.
I wouldn't have finished.
Right.
But like
Exactly.
here's another thing. So like even if they did make like a federal law to make college free, how are you going to enforce that on a private like college? Because not every college is state funded.
I mean, how do Europeans do it?
Well, I'm pretty sure theirs is that they have private colleges though, but they're not free. I don't think.
I don't know.
Not
You know,
all of them.
Jackie would know because she's applying to European schools.
Mm.
Should phone a girlfriend. But yeah, I don't know. I don't pay your loans. I mean, Jesus Christ, you have a mortgage. You have a. It's really. I feel like the only people bitching about free school are the ones who are like, "Damn, I got my fucking
4-year
my
degree.
my
and I can't get a
my
job.
4-year degree in English, and it cost me 200 grand to drink for 4 years. I mean, just pay your loans. Like you
Yeah.
made this poor decision on your own. You didn't go to college, but like you were smart enough not to take on all that debt.
Yeah.
You know what I don't like? It's not really fucking like uh what's this topic called? It's not like climate change, but
Oh
the
yeah.
trash everywhere. Can we do like a go green, like a trash thing? You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah. Well, I think it's stupid not to like care about the planet at all. I think
Is
that's
is
what makes
Trash
sense.
Island a real thing? You ever seen that episode of Family Guy?
Yeah, no, it is. It's like, what is it, in the Pacific or the Atlantic?
Just I don't know. But the fact that I had to learn about that from Family Guy, like I
That's
feel
what.
like that should be a bigger thing, right?
It's a little sad, yeah.
It's supposed
But
to
they
be
did.
pretty big.
They have. I mean, there's a few people working on stuff. There's like someone developed a net, and then someone's developing like an enzyme that breaks down trash in the ocean.
Hmm,
I mean, they're working on it, but like there's not the right funds being allocated to it because we're so worried about right now
interesting.
that they're not. Honestly, the people that are in charge right now couldn't give a fuck because they're gonna be dead before it matters.
Every time I talk about like global warming and the environment, I feel like the timeline till it matters gets like more drastic. Like
Yeah,
first it was like, it's until we'll all be dead before it matters. Then it was like maybe 100 years, maybe 50 years. And then Leonardo DiCaprio, like when he did that song, that thing with Lil Dicky,
oh yeah.
when Lil Dicky put that song out, he
Hmm.
was like, it's gonna be 12 years. And I heard 7 years. And now it's like in a month and a half. It's
Yeah.
always fucking sooner.
Oh, we
So
all gonna die.
I
Let's
feel like there should be
see.
a, yeah, I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? The topic was just really just the economy in general. I mean, how do you think it's doing? You're the
Right
one who
now,
really invests.
like without COVID or with COVID?
I mean, I think we kind of have to put it in there. I mean, for like, let's say, because it's been 4 years since Trump was in office. What about
Hmm.
like the first 3 years pre-COVID?
It's a good question. So the first year, well,
Because
he
I
got in
mean,
what,
I guess
16, so started 17.
like the last year is kind of like an
No,
anomaly.
yeah, no, I got you. I mean, for the first year and a half of Trump, I was in college, so I
Mhm.
can't really speak for the economy.
I worked through like his whole thing,
Yeah,
so like, I mean, I can't tell you how many places were hiring, and it was always so weird to me that like the unemployment rate was someone high, so that it was like 10 some percent. There was people out of work, and
sure.
there was hella jobs available.
Yeah,
So
I don't.
like,
I mean, I feel like there's always people saying the economy's fine, then the economy's horrible. I feel like it's more of
yeah,
a perspective thing. I mean, I have consistently been employed when I've needed to be employed.
yeah,
Um, I mean, the only time it was ever almost a question was during COVID
mhm,
when my company was looking rocky. But
yeah,
I mean, luckily I was fortunate enough to not be affected for the
mhm.
most part. So I mean, in my eyes, the economy's doing fine. I mean, stocks aren't doing great, but I just feel that's because COVID's like really dicked this year down to nothing.
So you don't think like what do you think happens to like the stock market depending on who wins?
Eh, You're gonna have whoever wins. You're gonna have huge fluctuations
Hmm.
that really only last for like a week or two,
You think
and
it's
then
gonna
it's
be like
just
certain companies or just overall?
so like when Trump got elected, like the day of,
Yeah.
all financial companies, big banks, things like that, like blew up, like did really well.
Okay.
At least in my perspective, in the things I was invested in, like flew the fuck up.
Yeah.
But all that fucking faded down and to basically nothing. And people just the economy and the markets are based on people and their behaviors, and people just react based on the things they're reading right now. Say, oh, there's
Yeah.
jump, and they make quick decisions. And
Hmm.
then once people get bored talking about it, the opposite happens and it levels back out. And then Trump does
Yeah.
something stupid and it shits itself again. And I mean, everything's just like momentary. The election's gonna happen. In November, I will imagine the market's gonna be pretty crazy, especially like
Mm.
say Friday or something. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, Biden won, and then the day after that, Trump's like, I'm not leaving office, so something will happen in the market, and then they'll be like, "Sir, you have to leave. He won." And then they'll be like, "No, Trump won." And then they'll be like, "Oh no, we just counted again. No, Biden won." So until that shit stops,
Yeah.
like it's just gonna be all over the place. But
Yeah.
once November's over, like nothing's gonna happen
It should be
until
fine.
World War III or another pandemic. Like it's just like moments, instances, events
Yeah.
that cause temporary fluctuations. But after that,
Mhm.
I mean, humans are dumb. They think like big things are gonna matter, but nothing matters. Everything fixes itself.
So you think? So I know notoriously Americans were fucking savages. You think like Black Friday is gonna be big this year? Or you think
Yeah.
like places are gonna be open?
Oh, you mean like,
No, like Black Friday, like people die on Black Friday, like that.
well, I mean, I know online shopping is gonna be popping.
I think that's gonna be Cyber Monday. Would probably be the biggest year ever.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's surprising. Because Amazon just had their Prime Day, you
Mhm.
know, and usually that fucking shoots. I feel like that usually shoots them up a lot. And then they had their earnings call, and
Yeah.
they did like twice as well as analysts expected them to do.
Yeah.
And their stock really hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
Um, I think it like ticked down for a day. It was weird. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. It's just people are dumb. People
Mhm.
react incorrectly and like too hastily, either out of fear or trying to snag opportunities,
Mhm.
and it all just corrects itself. Like I was up a whole bunch of money for COVID, and then everything leveled out, and now I'm back to where I was.
Yeah.
But Black
People are.
Friday, I mean, it's gonna be wild because they can't open stores fully,
Yeah,
especially
like
if
I don't know because they could never do it before, but we never had any like regulations on how many people could be in a store.
right.
But now you
That's
can't
just gonna
have like
cause like riots and shit.
yeah, you
So
can't
I would
have
imagine
hundreds of people.
most of the deals would have to be exclusively online. Be a good time to set up an online e-commerce store.
Very
Get
true.
some weird product up there right before Black Friday sale. Mark your price at like $100, but be like Black Friday deal, $25. Boom.
Boom. I got
Literally all drop shipping stores on the internet. You're welcome.
you. Did you watch season 2 of Umbrella Academy?
I did. I did.
You watched it a while ago. I just finished it the
A
other
couple
day.
weeks ago. I liked it better than the first season,
Yeah, me too.
but a lot of the characters got more annoying.
Mm,
And I hate, see, this is why I have a hard time watching a lot of things.
yeah,
Just because, like, I understand that decisions are decided to drive story, but
yeah.
like the sister, the one,
What?
not the white one. Who's the other one? What's the
Allison?
Allison? Thank you, the one who can like rumor people to do things.
Yeah,
You could have solved every problem in the season like day one, but I understand
yeah.
that's not how shows work.
Well, there's also like they have to have some like character development, and they're like, oh, she didn't want to use it because she felt bad about what happened before.
I can't get behind that. And then like I hated how Luthor, the big one, right? That's Luthor.
Yeah.
He was like a fucking idiot the whole time.
Yep.
He was not an idiot in the first season.
No, he was like a smart dude.
Yeah, no,
Usually
that he
like the
just
level-headed one.
every time he spoke, I was just like, why am I watching
I
this?
think they just tried to give him more like character relief, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know.
But like, I mean, the stuff with Five was good. Five was my one of my favorites from the first season too. But
For sure, for sure.
he was good. And then I never realized like how important the handler was. Or I didn't really even understand what the fucking commission was until the second season. They didn't explain it very well.
There was a lot of plot holes and things I didn't love, but yeah, I seen it. I would like to be head of a governing institution. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd like to
Hmm.
control some land, make my own laws. How do I do that? Should I buy? Do I have to buy enough land from a specific place, and I just like make my own rules?
Why don't you like start in small politics?
Oh no, I don't want to work my way up. I would like to like kill a current king. You know,
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, we're gonna have to go abroad for that.
that's what I'm saying earlier. Like technically, people could do that now, right? If
Yeah.
someone wanted to.
I mean,
Like they could just take over. I mean, obviously the U.S. government has the U.S. military,
yeah.
so that's not gonna work in most places.
Mm.
I mean, that's how it's done, no?
Well, I feel like that's running out too. Like, there's only a
Like the
few
Vikings.
communist countries left where you could like literally just kill their leader and take over.
Isn't that what the Vikings did though? You just like I don't know. I watched that show,
They just kind
Vikings,
of
bro.
killed everyone.
You kill the jarl in charge, and
Yeah,
you're
you're
the
just
new guy.
yeah.
You get like his wife and everyone, all the guards are just like, oh, we work for this guy now.
There's just simpler times.
I don't know why they changed.
I don't think
Now,
they haven't really gone far.
could I legally like set laws in my own property? You know,
Because wasn't there? Because I know, again, Family Guy did
of
this,
course,
where Peter
Pretoria,
made Pretoria. I'm pretty
but
sure
that's
that's based on a real thing.
because like in the show, I don't know what the
Mhm.
real thing is, but like in the show, he like had to build himself a pool, but the
Yeah.
city wouldn't let him, so he went to complain, and the mayor was like, your property, 31 Spooner
Uh,
Street, isn't even part of the city. It's not even part of like the country. Like it was just a blank on the map.
yeah.
But like if I own the property, like I can make my own rules on the property, right? It's mine.
I
Cause
think
like I don't.
as long as they don't like, they're unconstitutional.
But whose constitution? It's my rules. It's my constitution.
If you
My
own the
constitution says I can kill people.
if you own the land,
Yeah. But like because I own the land, I don't own the land and I'm and that land, I'm like not holding the land for the government. If I own the land, it's within the country, but I'm only acting my rules within my land.
I feel like the only way to like solidly start that out was you would have to like 100% own the land.
How do I mean,
Well,
what's the
no,
difference?
you just have like you wouldn't have the
I
ability
couldn't
to
have a
really.
mortgage.
Yes, you couldn't have a more like no one else could be in ownership or
Well, yeah.
partially of the house. You would have to own 100% of it.
But I mean, I know that your family owns your house.
So I mean, technically, you could probably make rules, but you also know they're really not going to give a fuck because we've gone into other countries and killed their leaders.
Yeah, but I mean, like that's the thing. So I have my land, right?
Hmm.
I have my little plot of land, my couple acres or whatever,
Yeah,
and within my border, if I could then sustain power, like electricity, feed myself,
yeah.
take care of my sewage,
Hmm.
you know,
I mean, you would if you were going to do that, then you would be
I would have to
subjecting
act
yourself
independently.
as like being a different country. So like you wouldn't be able to go to the store
Without my passport.
without like your you wouldn't be able to leave your like they would have to build a U.S. customs outside your house, and then like you wouldn't be able to buy like a thing of bread
I
without
wonder if
like having weird
property,
tariffs.
like, could I just like buy enough land? Like, say I bought our hometown, right?
Hmm.
A lot of property in our hometown. Say
Yeah.
like a square mile.
Okay.
Could I secede from the union?
You probably could.
Build myself a grocery store, import the goods from other countries like most people do, anyways.
Well, I mean, in that case, other countries would be fucking Schenectady.
Yeah, I could just DoorDash. I could DoorDash my imports. I
Oh, that'd be
wonder that.
wild.
But like then I'm also subject to people coming over, killing me, taking my land, or the U.S. military could literally come knocking and point a gun at me and be like, "This is now property of the U.S. government."
And depending on what laws you have, so like technically, if you said murder was legal and they came over and shot you in the fucking face,
I couldn't do anything.
you couldn't do anything. Murder is legal.
True. It is weird. I
Uh,
wonder how that works. I wonder what level of paperwork, but like, what level of paperwork you would need to secede from the union, but also, yeah, I don't know.
I feel like the whole point of seceding. So like, this is one is an ignorant thing to say. I don't know. Is it illegal to secede from the union?
Is it illegal?
Yeah.
The
Like, did
South
they
did it once.
add something? But doesn't it like?
But like if you
Hmm.
if you're making your own country to avoid the rules of other country, the rules of other countries, then I don't care if it's illegal or not. I'm just gonna do it.
Well, no. What you would have to do, you had to be very strategic about it. Like the second you became a country, you would have to either like pre-existing or like immediately when you form this country have an ally that would have your back. So you'd have to
Yeah.
have like, China as one of your allies so that if they came in and fucked with you, you got people
China would be like, whoa,
who
whoa,
got your
whoa,
back.
whoa, whoa.
Mm.
Just have a single Chinese tank in my backyard, taking up 3/4 of the property.
Oh no. Just have it go around the border of your square mile.